Whispers of betrayal, power, and love echoed through episode 6 of The Gilded Age, leaving every viewer on the edge of their seat. From glittering ballrooms to the shadows of secret meetings, the drama unfolded with sharp intensity. And just when it felt like the dust had settled, the stage was set for something far greater. What happened in episode 6 was not just another chapter in the story of old money and new money. It was the spark before the storm. A storm that episode 7 promises to unleash with full force. Episode 6 opened with an air of tension that could be felt in every glance and every carefully chosen word. The old guard of New York society continued to fight desperately to hold on to their traditions, while the rising power of the Russells pressed forward with an unstoppable determination. Bertha Russell stood firm at the center of this battle, her ambition sharper than ever, as she worked to carve out her place among the elite. Every move she made in episode 6 revealed how carefully she studies her rivals, waiting for just the right moment to strike. Her plans were not just about being included in society, but about reshaping it in her own vision. Marian Brooke found herself pulled into a whirlwind of emotions, caught between her sense of duty and the tug of her heart. Her storyline in episode 6 brought a fresh wave of tension, as whispers about her choices began to circulate. She is a character walking on a tightrope, and every step risks changing the course of her future. The way she carried herself, with a mix of quiet strength and visible vulnerability, made her scenes some of the most striking moments of the episode. Meanwhile, Peggy Scott's journey continued to shine a light on the struggles of ambition in a world that seems determined to limit her voice. Episode 6 gave her another moment to prove not just her intelligence but her courage. She moved through challenges with dignity, and her decisions showed a depth of character that makes her one of the most compelling figures in the series. Her story is more than a subplot. It is a reflection of the walls society builds and the strength required to break through them. George Russell's presence in episode 6 was no less commanding. As a man driven by both pride and vision, his battles in the business world mirrored the conflicts in the grand halls of New York society. Deals were struck, alliances were tested, and hints of betrayal lingered in the background. His storyline served as a reminder that power is not only found in drawing rooms or at dinner parties, it is fought for in boardrooms and on the trading floor. As the episode moved toward its conclusion, the threads of every story began to tighten. Secrets hinted at greater revelations and alliances threatened to shift. Every smile in the ballroom felt like it carried a hidden meaning, and every quiet conversation suggested danger. Episode 6 was not just about what happened on the surface. It was about the storm building underneath, the kind of storm that makes episode 7 not just another installment, but the turning point of the season. Episode 6 was not just about events. It was about what those events meant in the larger battle between tradition and ambition. The Gilded Age has always shown the struggle between old money and new money, but in this episode that conflict burned brighter than ever. The established families held their heads high, guarding the gates of society like watchmen of a fading empire. Against them stood the Russells, carrying the weight of determination, refusing to bow, and ready to build a new empire of their own. This clash of values is not simply about wealth. It is about identity, pride, and the right to shape the future. The episode also explored the loneliness hidden inside the glittering halls of high society. Beneath the diamonds and chandeliers, characters showed quiet cracks in their armor. Marian's choices revealed the price of independence, reminding us that love and freedom do not come without sacrifice. Every whisper about her made clear how quickly society can turn when someone dares to step outside its rules. Her courage showed that strength is not always loud. Sometimes it is in the quiet refusal to give up. Peggy's journey reflected another layer of truth, the battle of ambition against the chains of prejudice. She walked into spaces where others wanted her silent, but she chose to stand tall and speak with dignity. Her courage is not only personal, it carries the weight of change. In her, we see the story of countless voices that history tried to silence, voices that fought to be heard even when the walls seemed unbreakable. George Russell's storyline captured the ruthless side of progress. Every deal, every word, carried the sharp edge of risk. In him we see the heart of new power, a man willing to fight not only with money but with vision. His clashes are not small battles, they are wars disguised as business. His ambition stands as a warning and as an inspiration, showing that success demands not only strength but also sacrifice. Episode 6 also revealed how fragile alliances can be. Friends shared smiles while hiding daggers behind their backs. Rivals shook hands while plotting each other's downfall. Every moment felt like a game of chess with pieces moving across a board no one fully understood. Trust was rare, and loyalty even rarer, reminding us that in the world of the Gilded Age, survival often depends on being 2 steps ahead. What made this episode powerful was not just the glittering visuals or the sharp dialogue, but the way it showed the cost of ambition. Every character carried a burden. Every decision carried a price. Behind the grand music of ballroom scenes was the sound of quiet hearts breaking, of dreams being challenged, of futures hanging by a thread. This is why Episode 6 stands out. Because it was not only about society's battles, it was about the personal wars each character must fight within themselves. The trailer for Episode 7 bursts open with energy that feels sharper than anything we have seen so far this season. Every frame is charged with tension. Every glance holds the weight of secrets waiting to be exposed. The first image that stands out is a grand gathering, a ballroom filled with music and glittering gowns. Yet, the beauty of the scene hides the sting of conflict. The camera lingers on Bertha Russell, her eyes set with determination, a queen preparing to defend her crown. She is no longer asking for a place in society, she is demanding it, and the trailer makes it clear that her next move will shake the foundations of the old guard. In another moment, we see Marian caught in the crossfire of whispers. Her storyline has always balanced hope and danger, and in this trailer, her emotions feel sharper than ever. A hushed conversation reveals that her choices may soon come with consequences she cannot escape. The trailer suggests she will be tested, not just by society but by her own heart, as if every step she takes could lead her closer to freedom or deeper into chains. George Russell appears with the look of a man ready for war. The trailer flashes to tense discussions across polished tables and dark rooms filled with smoke, suggesting that his battles in business are about to reach their breaking point. One line spoken with steel in his voice hints at betrayal, a reminder that in his world of power and wealth, loyalty is fragile and ambition can turn friend into enemy overnight. His storyline in the trailer feels like a storm building in the distance, a storm ready to sweep across every character who dares to stand in his way. The most powerful part of the trailer lies in its glimpses of conflict between allies who once stood together. We see smiles that feel like masks, voices speaking softly but cutting deep. Rivalries are no longer hidden, they are stepping into the light. A sudden confrontation, shown only for a second, hints at a feud that could rip apart the balance of society. The way the trailer presents it, Episode 7 will not just be about dinners and dances, it will be about survival, and the cost of standing in the wrong place at the wrong time. The final shot of the trailer lingers, a moment filled with silence and dread. A character turns, their expression sharp with both fear and resolve, leaving us with a question that burns long after the trailer ends. What secret have they uncovered, and what danger will it unleash? That single closing image feels like a warning, a promise that Episode 7 will not simply move the story forward, it will rewrite it entirely. If Episode 6 was the spark and the trailer for Episode 7 was the roar of the storm, then our predictions for what comes next carry the weight of thunder. Fans have already started weaving theories, and each one feels like a piece of a puzzle that the writers have carefully hidden in plain sight. One of the strongest predictions centers around Bertha Russell. The trailer shows her standing tall, her eyes burning with ambition, and this has led many viewers to believe that she will finally gain the upper hand against the old guard. Yet victory in the Gilded Age never comes without a price. Some fans believe Bertha will face betrayal from someone inside her own circle, perhaps a trusted ally who envies her rise. If that happens, Episode 7 could mark the beginning of a downfall wrapped in the disguise of triumph. Marian's path is another thread that fans cannot stop discussing. Her quiet defiance has made her a symbol of change, But change always attracts resistance. Predictions suggest that she will be forced to make a choice that could alter not just her future, but the future of those around her. Will she follow her heart, risking her place in society, or will she sacrifice her desires to keep her position secure? The theories point to episode 7 giving her a moment of decision, a crossroads where both roads carry heavy consequences. Peggy's journey has also become a focus of speculation. Her strength and courage have already broken barriers, but episode 7 may place her at the center of a storm she cannot control. Some fans believe she will uncover a secret that threatens to shake powerful families, a truth too dangerous to ignore. If that theory is true, Peggy may find herself facing opposition stronger than anything she has encountered before, and her voice may become the spark of change that society cannot silence. George Russell's storyline holds perhaps the most dangerous possibilities. His battles in the business world have been brutal, but the hints in the trailer suggest that someone close to him may be plotting against him. Theories whisper about betrayal, about rivals who smile in his presence while sharpening knives behind closed doors. If episode 7 reveals such a betrayal, George's response could redefine not only his own legacy, but the balance of power across New York. Finally, fans believe episode 7 will deliver a shock that no one sees coming. The closing image of the trailer has stirred endless debate, with theories ranging from hidden scandals to the return of a character thought to be sidelined. Whatever the truth may be, the predictions all agree on one thing. Episode 7 will not simply be another chapter. It will be the turning point, the moment that changes the course of every storyline in the Gilded Age. Episode 6 reminded us why the Gilded Age is more than just a show about wealth and fashion. It is a mirror reflecting ambition, betrayal, and the cost of power. The trailer for episode 7 has already promised that the next chapter will not hold back, and every sign points toward revelations that could shake every character to the core. This is not simply a story about who holds the most money or influence. It is about who is willing to risk everything to claim their place in history. As we prepare for episode 7, the air is thick with questions. Will Bertha finally force her way into the inner circle, or will she discover that victory can be as dangerous as defeat? Will Marian follow her heart and risk losing everything, or will she turn her back on her desires to preserve her standing? Will George Russell crush his rivals, or will betrayal from within strike when he least expects it? And what hidden truth might Peggy uncover that could ignite a fire across New York society? These questions do not just build curiosity, they build anticipation. The kind of anticipation that makes episode 7 feel less like the next step in a story, and more like a turning point that will shape the season's legacy. Every glance, every whispered word, every move on the grand stage of the Gilded Age now carries the weight of destiny. So stay ready, because when episode 7 arrives, it will not simply be another night of drama. It will be the clash of worlds, the test of loyalty, the rise and fall of ambitions. Make sure you do not miss it, because the storm is coming, and in this storm, only the strongest will endure. If you enjoyed this breakdown and the dive into predictions, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell for updates. We will be here with a full review and deep analysis of episode 7 right after it airs. Until then, remember this. In the Gilded Age, nothing stays hidden for long, and every secret eventually finds its way into the light. The Gilded Age is not only about the surface drama of high society, it is a story painted with symbols, each moment layered with meaning that stretches far beyond the glitter of chandeliers. Episode 6 was a perfect example of this, showing us how wealth is both a weapon and a prison. Every ballroom scene, every dinner table conversation, was more than just dialogue. It was a performance where characters wore masks, not to hide their faces, but to hide their fears. Take Bertha Russell, for instance. Her presence is more than ambition. It is the embodiment of change itself. She is the storm pressing against the gates of tradition, her gowns and jewels not simply displays of wealth but declarations of war. The way she walks into a room tells us that she is not there to ask, she is there to claim. In her we see the symbol of new power, bright, forceful, and impossible to ignore. Marian's storyline reflects a different kind of symbol. She represents the voice of conscience in a world that demands silence. Every choice she makes is not just personal. It is a rebellion against a system built on expectations. Her quiet strength, her willingness to risk being judged reminds us that freedom often begins not with a roar, but with a whisper. In her we see the seed of a future where identity is not dictated by money or by name, but by courage. Peggy carries, perhaps the most powerful symbol of all. She is the proof that voices pushed to the edge can still shake the center. Her presence in drawing rooms where others seek to diminish her speaks louder than any speech. Every step she takes, every word she speaks, is a strike against the walls that history tried to build around her. In her we see resilience turned into fire, the kind of fire that cannot be extinguished no matter how tightly the world tries to control it. And then there is George Russell, a man whose storyline shows the cost of ambition in its rawest form. He is the symbol of progress, of industrial power that refuses to be bent by tradition. Yet the shadow around him reminds us that progress without loyalty can turn sharp, cutting even those who stand closest to him. He is not only a figure of strength, he is a warning of how quickly ambition can transform into isolation. When we look at episode 6 through this lens, the entire story becomes a mirror. The wealth, the rivalry, the whispers of betrayal, all serve to reflect the deeper truth that every age, no matter how golden it seems, carries cracks beneath the surface. The Gilded Age does not only tell us the story of the past, it forces us to look at the present, to see how power still shapes lives, how ambition still clashes with tradition, and how silence still demands to be broken. All the threads of the Gilded Age are now pulling tighter, and the weight of every decision made in episode 6 is pressing toward the inevitable explosion of episode 7. The world of New York high society stands on a knife's edge, where every glance carries hidden meaning and every whispered word has the power to change destinies. The ballroom may still glow with golden light, but beneath that glow runs a current of fear, ambition, and betrayal strong enough to tear the city apart. Bertha Russell stands ready, her resolve unshakable, her hunger for power louder than the voices that once tried to silence her. Marian walks a path lined with choice and consequence, her courage marking her as both a target and a beacon of change. Peggy carries the flame of resilience, a flame that threatens to burn through the walls of silence and prejudice. George Russell sharpens his ambition into a weapon, knowing that allies can become enemies in a heartbeat. Episode 7 promises not just another step forward, but a turning point where masks will be stripped away, secrets will be revealed, and the true cost of ambition will come crashing down. This is no longer a quiet battle for acceptance. It is a war for survival in the gilded halls of power. The storm is no longer building in the distance, it is here, ready to strike. And when it does, the world of the Gilded Age will never be the same again. So prepare yourself, because the next chapter will demand more than attention. It will demand that you hold your breath as destinies collide. Episode 7 is not just coming, it is arriving like thunder on the horizon. And when it lands, it will echo long after the last note of music fades from the ballroom.